People say time is money. No, time is much more than that. Time is life. And wealth is just a reflection of how wisely you spend your life minutes. You trade time for either excuses or excellence. The choice is always yours. So, if you want to change your income, change your actions. If you want to change your future, change your focus. But if you want to change your destiny, you must change your disciplines. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. And every day you delay the life you were meant to build, the weight grows heavier. Wake up early, think wealthy, act consistently, and build success slowly, one honest decision at a time. Now think about this. How many people wake up late, groggy, in a rush, already reacting to the day? They grab their phone, scroll through someone else's life, answer emails before brushing their teeth, and never once stop to ask, quote, what am I building today? That's a poor habit. Living in reaction, not creation. You've got to guard your morning like a treasure. Because once the day starts racing, it's hard to find that same clarity. But if you claim your morning, you build your future. Start early. Start strong. Start with vision and watch the rest follow. One of the great challenges in life is learning how to balance two powerful ideas, vision and action. Most people get caught living in extremes. They either dream endlessly about some distant future and never act, or they stay trapped in the day-to-day with no sense of direction, just reacting. But real wealth isn't built in either extreme. It's built by those who can think in decades while acting in days. That's the mindset of lasting success. I often say, don't chase quick hits, build deep roots. Because if your thinking is only about this week's check or this month's bill, you'll never plant the seeds for a harvest 5 years from now. And wealth, real wealth, is a harvest. You got to plant today, water tomorrow, protect it next month, and wait through a few seasons before you ever see the fruit. That's why long-term thinking is rare, because it requires patience, vision, and trust in your process. But that's also why it's so valuable. Now, don't misunderstand. I'm not asking you to wait years before you move. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. Act daily. Build something today. Make a call. Learn a skill. Write a page. Send an offer. Take that walk. Every single day, do something that aligns with where you want to be 10 years from now. The day will pass any way better. It passes in alignment with your vision. I remember when I first started thinking like this. I sat down and wrote a letter to my future self. Not a fantasy, not a vague wish list, but a real picture of who I wanted to be and what I wanted my life to look like in 10 years. Then I asked myself a simple question. What would a person like that do today? And that changed everything. Because now I wasn't just reacting to life, I was building it. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in 10. And the secret is in your habits. Wealth doesn't arrive with a bang. It creeps in through discipline, through small, consistent actions that look like nothing today, but turn into everything tomorrow. When you shift your mindset from short-term pleasure to long-term value, you stop chasing and start becoming. So, don't rush the process, respect it. Build slow if you must, but build deliberately. Think like a decade is watching, but act like today is your last chance. That's how you create wealth worth keeping. One of the most overlooked keys to financial success is developing a personal philosophy about money. So many people simply inherit beliefs from their family, culture, or environment without ever stopping to think if those beliefs serve them. They carry stories like money is the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy, and they don't realize how these unconscious ideas shape their financial reality. To change your life, you have to design your own philosophy about money consciously and clearly. Money responds to clarity. It's not just a tool or a number on a screen. It's a reflection of your values, your mindset, and your beliefs. If you think money is scarce, it will be. If you believe it's a blessing and an opportunity, it will flow differently into your life. You see, money isn't just about numbers, it's about what you stand for. What do you believe about earning? Is it something you deserve? Is it a way to serve? What about saving? Is it a burden, or is it honoring your future self? And giving, is generosity a joy or a loss? These questions matter because your answers shape your financial behaviors. I remember early in my journey, I struggled financially because I had no real philosophy about money. I was reacting to every paycheck, every bill, every temptation without a clear why. Over time, I started writing down what I believed. I asked myself, what do I want money to do for me? What kind of person do I want to be with money? These reflections changed how I approached wealth. Suddenly, I wasn't a victim of circumstance. I was a creator of my financial future. Designing your philosophy doesn't mean being rigid or perfected. It means being intentional. It means deciding that money is a tool for freedom, for impact, for legacy. It means seeing earning as a byproduct of value, saving as respect for your future, and giving as planting seeds for abundance. When you have a clear personal philosophy, your financial decisions become easier. You start saying no to distractions and yes to what aligns with your values. So, take time today to get clear about your money philosophy. Write it down. Review it often. Let it guide your spending, your investing, your giving. When your philosophy is strong, your money flows with purpose. Your actions become deliberate, not random. And that is how wealth moves from chasing to building. One of the fundamental habits that separates those who build lasting wealth from those who struggle is the simple act of measurement. It's said that what gets measured gets improved. And this couldn't be truer when it comes to your financial life. Without tracking where your money comes from, where it goes, and how your net worth is evolving, you are essentially flying blind. You can't steer a ship without knowing your coordinates, and the same goes for building wealth. When I first started my journey, I learned this lesson the hard way. I was earning money, spending it, but never really knew where it all went. It was a fog. Then I began keeping track, not just once a month or when I remembered, but every single week. I tracked my income, expenses, savings, and investments. This simple act brought clarity. Suddenly, leaks in my spending became obvious. Opportunities to save or invest appeared. Progress, or lack of it, was no longer a mystery. Making your finances visible turns wealth building into a daily reality, not a distant dream. You know exactly how much you made, how much you spent, and where the gaps are. Tracking your savings rate the percentage of income you set aside is especially powerful. It keeps you honest with yourself and focused on the goal. Your net worth is another key number to watch. It's your financial health report card. When you see it growing, you're motivated. When it's flat or shrinking, you know it's time to adjust. Using a weekly financial dashboard doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as a spreadsheet or an app on your phone. The important thing is consistency. Every 7 days, sit down, review your numbers, and reflect on what they mean. Adjust your spending, increase your savings, or rethink your investments accordingly. Tracking also builds discipline and awareness. It forces you to confront reality rather than ignore it. It turns vague hopes into concrete plans and actions. Over time, this habit compounds like your money does, creating momentum towards your financial goals. So, I challenge you to start this week. Set up your financial dashboard. Commit to measuring your income, expenses, and net worth every single week. Watch how this simple act changes your mindset and your bank account. Clarity is power, and measurement is the path to clarity. Without it, growth remains invisible and wealth stays out of reach. It's easy to fall into the trap of being busy without making real progress. I see it all the time. People running around, juggling tasks, filling their days with activity, yet at the end of it all, they haven't moved closer to their financial freedom or their dreams. Busy doesn't mean productive. And being productive doesn't always mean busy. There's a powerful difference between motion and action, and wealth is built on deliberate action, not just activity. In my own life, I've made this mistake early on. I thought that working harder, longer hours meant success was just around the corner. I filled every moment with tasks, calls, meetings, and yet I wasn't moving the needle financially. The breakthrough came when I started reviewing my days, not just the hours worked, but what those hours achieved. Did the tasks align with my vision? Did they build value, increase my income, or advance my skills? Or were they distractions disguised as urgent chores? To break free from this trap, you need to get intentional about your daily activities. Ask yourself at the end of each day, did what I did move me closer to my goals, or did I just fill my calendar? This simple question changes your focus from being busy to being effective. It's about quality, not quantity. You see, wealth requires consistent forward movement, and that forward movement comes from focused effort on what truly matters. Reading a book about investing, making calls to potential clients, setting up an automatic savings plan, these are actions that build wealth. Answering every email, scrolling endlessly on social media, or getting caught up in minor tasks may keep you busy but won't get you closer to financial freedom. I encourage you to schedule your day around your highest priorities. Plan time blocks dedicated to activities that directly contribute to your income, skills, or mindset growth. Protect those times fiercely. Don't let urgent but unimportant matters steal your energy and focus. In the end, productivity is about progress, not pressure. Wealth grows when your daily actions align with your long-term vision. Busy days without progress lead nowhere but exhaustion. Focus days with meaningful actions build empires. So, take a moment tonight and honestly evaluate your day. Then tomorrow, be purposeful about what you allow into your schedule. Remember, it's not how busy you are, it's how effective you are that changes your life. One of the greatest lessons I've learned over the years is that willpower alone isn't enough to build lasting wealth. It's a wonderful trait, but it's also fleeting. Motivation waxes and wanes, and discipline can tire. That's why the wealthy don't rely solely on their resolve. They build systems that work for them automatically, removing friction and human error from the equation. When I first began my financial journey, I would tell myself, I'll save this month, I'll invest next month, only to find excuses creeping in. Life happens, emotions interfere, and suddenly the plan falls apart. But when I set up automatic transfers from my paycheck directly into savings and investment accounts, the game changed completely. I wasn't depending on remembering or feeling motivated. The system was doing the work for me. Automation takes the guesswork and the temptation out of financial decisions. When a portion of your income is automatically directed to your savings, investments, or debt repayment before you even see it, you honor your future self without having to negotiate with your present feelings. It's like planting seeds in a garden you don't have to think about watering every day, because the system is set up to keep those seeds growing. But automation doesn't stop at money. The wealthy also automate learning and productivity habits. They schedule daily blocks of time for focused work, automatic reminders for personal development, and recurring sessions to review goals and progress. These rituals become non-negotiable parts of the routine, protected from the distractions and excuses that derail most people. I've seen countless people fail because they rely on motivation, which is unpredictable. Instead, the wealthy build bridges between their goals and their actions, bridges made of systems and habits that require little conscious effort once established. This reduces the friction that causes procrastination or forgetfulness. So, I urge you to look at your financial life and ask, what can I automate today? Can your savings be automatic? Your investments? Bill payments to avoid late fees? Setting up these systems may take a little effort initially, but the payoff is freedom from the daily struggle of willpower. In the end, wealth is not just about hard work, it's about smart work. Automate the essentials and watch how your financial life starts running smoothly, almost on autopilot. The power of systems is the secret weapon of the wealthy. Let them work for you. When I first began on my path to financial success, I learned a crucial lesson that many overlook in their rush to get rich quick. It's better to master one income stream before trying to juggle many. There's a powerful momentum that comes from focus and depth, rather than scattering your energy across too many things at once. Too often, I've seen people jump from one idea to the next, trying to build multiple streams without fully developing any of them. This is like planting seeds, but never watering any of them long enough to see growth. Wealth doesn't grow from scattered efforts. It grows from steady, focused action that compounds over time. The first income stream you build is your foundation. Whether it's your job, a business, freelance work, or an investment, it deserves your full attention. Mastering this first stream means understanding it inside and out, improving your skills, increasing its profitability, and building reliability. When you've created something solid and dependable, you have the confidence and resources to add more streams. In my own journey, I began with my work as a salesman. I didn't immediately try to build businesses or invest heavily. I focused on becoming excellent at selling, learning everything I could, and making my income steady and growing. Once I had that momentum, I started investing in books and mentorship, which led to new income streams through speaking, coaching, and writing. Each new stream built on the foundation of the last, multiplying my wealth step by step. Wealth is a snowball. The first push is the hardest, but once it starts rolling, it gathers strength and size. That's why it's so important to focus your time and energy on creating one strong income source first. Build habits around it, learn the ropes, and improve consistently. Then, when the time is right, diversify adding another stream that complements or enhances your first. Trying to build everything at once can lead to burnout and failure. But mastering one stream brings clarity and confidence. And when you multiply from a strong foundation, your wealth doesn't just add you, but multiplies exponentially. So start by giving your full effort to one income stream today. Build it with discipline, learn deeply, and let it grow. Then, when it's ready, add the next. That's how lasting wealth is built, steadily, deliberately, and with momentum. There's a common misconception that wealth is simply the reward for working harder and longer hours. I've seen many people grind themselves to exhaustion, believing that sheer labor is the key to financial success. But the truth is, wealth isn't created by how many hours you put in. It's created by how well you leverage what you already have. Think about it this way. If all wealth came from hard work alone, then why is it that some people working the same number of hours remain broke while others build empires? The difference lies in leverage the ability to multiply your efforts through smart strategies. Leverage comes in many forms. Time leverage means using systems and routines that allow you to accomplish more without working more hours. Skill leverage means developing abilities that increase your value exponentially rather than incrementally. Financial leverage is using money wisely, investing it so it works for you, earning returns while you sleep. And system leverage involves creating processes and teams that execute your vision, freeing you from daily tasks that don't require your unique talents. Early in my career, I worked long hours selling products door to door. It was grueling work, and my income was limited by the hours I could physically spend. But as I began to study successful people, I realized they weren't working more hours, they were working smarter. They found ways to multiply their efforts, either by building teams, creating businesses, or investing money that generated income without their direct involvement. I remember setting up a system where a group of salespeople worked under my guidance. I leveraged my skills by training and motivating them, and suddenly, my income wasn't limited to my own hours anymore. That was the turning point where I understood the power of leverage. So, don't fall into the trap of thinking harder work is the only way. Ask yourself, how can I create leverage in my life? Could you automate parts of your business or finances? Could you learn a high-value skill that pays off more than time spent? Could you invest to make your money work for you? Could you build relationships that open doors and multiply your influence? Leverage is the secret weapon of wealth creation. It's how the few turn hours into days, days into weeks, and weeks into years of compounding success. Shift your mindset from laboring harder to leveraging smarter. That's how you change your income and your life. Remember, wealth is not just about effort. It's about multiplying effort. Choose leverage. When I first started on my journey, I learned a lesson that forever shaped my path. If you don't take control and design your life with intention, life will design itself for you often by someone else's rules, goals, and timeline. This is one of the greatest truths about wealth and success. It's not something that happens by accident or by waiting for the right opportunity. It happens because you decide, you plan, and you take control. Most people drift through life, reacting to circumstances, doing what's expected, or simply following the path laid out by others, whether it's a job, a career, or societal expectations. But the wealthy understand that true freedom and lasting wealth come from clarity and vision. You must design your life first before the world drafts the blueprint for you. This means getting clear on what you want, not just financially, but in every area of life. Relationships, health, contribution, personal growth. Wealth is part of a larger picture, and clarity in your vision attracts the discipline necessary to bring it into reality. When your vision is strong, your daily decisions align with it naturally. I recall early in my career how I began to write down a clear vision for my future. I didn't just say I want to be rich. I defined what my life looked like, the kind of home I wanted, the freedom I sought, the legacy I wished to leave. That vision became a magnet for my actions, guiding me through setbacks and decisions alike. Without this design, you risk being hired to build someone else's dreams. You become part of their vision instead of creating your own. Imagine working tirelessly day after day only to enrich someone else's goals, while your own dreams remain on hold. That's the fate of many who never pause to design their own path. Designing your life means taking ownership. It means being proactive rather than reactive. It means sitting down regularly to review and adjust your vision so it grows with you. And it means using that clarity to build habits and make choices that serve your higher purpose. Discipline flows from vision. When you know where you're going, distractions lose their power. When your goals are crystal clear, you don't just survive, you thrive. Your energy and focus become magnets, pulling you closer to the life you designed. So don't wait for life to hand you a plan. Take the pen yourself and start drafting your ideal life today. That clarity will become the power that transforms your income, your mindset, and your destiny. Design your life, or life will design you. Choose to lead your own story. One of the most powerful shifts you can make on your journey to wealth is learning to delay pleasure in favor of growth. It's a lesson that separates those who chase momentary applause from those who build lasting assets. The world around us is full of distractions designed to offer quick satisfaction, flashy gadgets, instant entertainment, social media likes all, promising happiness right now. But these fleeting pleasures often come at the cost of long-term progress. Poor thinking is focused on what feels good in the moment. It's easy to fall into the trap of spending your money on things that impress others but don't build real wealth. You might buy a new car, upgrade your clothes, or dine out extravagantly, not because these purchases add value to your life, but because they offer a short burst of pleasure or approval. Yet, when you pause to reflect, none of these things increase your financial security or freedom. Wealthy thinking, on the other hand, is about planting seeds for the future. It's about recognizing that true satisfaction comes from seeing your efforts grow into something meaningful and lasting. That new car or expensive night out can wait when compared to the joy of watching your investments grow, your savings accumulate, or your skills multiply your income over time. This is not about deprivation. It's about prioritizing what really matters. I remember when I was first learning about money and success, the temptation to enjoy the fruits of my labor immediately was strong. But I realized that every dollar I delayed spending and instead invested or saved multiplied itself over time. The satisfaction of building a strong foundation was far greater than the fleeting excitement of buying something flashy. This delay of gratification is a form of discipline, and discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. When you learn to postpone instant pleasure, you gain control over your financial future. You stop being a slave to impulse and start being the master of your destiny. It's not about never enjoying life, but about making choices that lead to richer, fuller experiences down the road. It's about living below your means so that you can live beyond your dreams. So, when you feel the urge to chase the next quick thrill or seek applause for what you have right now, pause. Ask yourself, will this choice bring me closer to building lasting wealth, or will it only satisfy a temporary desire? Plant your financial seeds with patience and watch your wealth grow slowly, steadily, and surely. That's the path to true freedom and lasting success. When it comes to building lasting wealth, one of the most overlooked but critical habits is investing in yourself, specifically in the tools that make you better. Tools don't just mean gadgets or technology. They mean the resources that sharpen your skills, expand your knowledge, and elevate your mindset. Whether it's a good book, a course that challenges your thinking, a mentor who's been there before, or a network of like-minded people, these investments pay dividends far beyond their initial cost. Too often, people see money spent on education or self-improvement as an expense cost that pulls them away from immediate gains. But in reality, this kind of investment is the most powerful lever you have to multiply your income and accelerate your progress. Think about it. A farmer who invests in better tools, fertilizers, or seeds will harvest more than the one who uses outdated equipment. The same principle applies to your mind and your skill set. In my own life, I remember how investing in a simple course on sales and communication transformed my ability to connect with others and create opportunities. I had to scrape together money to pay for it, but that investment came back to me many times over as I closed deals, built relationships, and expanded my influence. That one decision to invest in my skill set was a turning point. It's a lesson I urge everyone to learn early. Don't hesitate to pay for knowledge and mentorship. The value you receive will far exceed the price you pay. A mentor, for example, can save you years of trial and error. They've walked the path before, experienced the pitfalls and breakthroughs, and can guide you with wisdom. Surrounding yourself with successful, driven people also changes your environment and thinking, pushing you to grow beyond what you thought possible. Books, likewise, offer a treasure trove of wisdom. Some people spend hundreds of thousands on things that offer little return, yet hesitate to buy a book or audiobook that can reshape their perspective and spark new ideas. The mind is your greatest asset. Feeding it with quality knowledge is like planting seeds for future abundance. The wealthy don't just work harder, they work smarter. And working smarter means constantly upgrading your tools. It means recognizing that every dollar you invest in your growth is a seed that will multiply. When you commit to lifelong learning and put yourself in situations that stretch your thinking, you open doors to higher income, better decisions, and greater influence. If you want to change your financial life, start by investing in the tools that make you better. Spend money on your education, your mentors, your networks. Treat those expenses not as costs, but as investments in your future. The returns will surprise you, and that's the real secret to wealth. One of the greatest lessons in building wealth isn't found in grand gestures or sudden windfalls. It's discovered in the quiet, steady rhythm of consistent effort. Too many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect skill before they take action. But perfection is an illusion, a mirage that keeps us stuck in place, watching opportunity pass by. What truly moves the needle in your financial life is not perfection, but persistence at doing what needs to be done day after day, even when it's hard, even when motivation wanes. Consistency is the secret ingredient that separates those who accumulate lasting wealth from those who only dream about it. Consider the farmer who waters his crops every morning, regardless of weather or mood. The crops don't demand perfection. They require steady care. Similarly, your wealth grows not by flawless decisions, but by consistent action, saving a portion of income regularly, investing month after month, learning a little every day, and refining your financial habits over time. I've met countless people who started with great enthusiasm, only to burn out after a few setbacks or distractions. They wanted every step to be perfect, every dollar saved, every investment timed just right, every opportunity seized flawlessly. But life doesn't work that way. Wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. It's the steady rhythm of doing the right things consistently that compounds into financial freedom. I remember my own journey. When I first began, my efforts were far from perfect. Sometimes I missed savings targets, made mistakes in investments, or lost motivation. Yet I kept showing up. Every day I put in the work, educated myself, and stayed committed to my goals. Over time, those imperfect but consistent steps created a foundation no momentary failure could shake. The mindset shift is simple but profound. Aim for progress, not perfection. Celebrate the small wins, the dollars saved, the lessons learned, the hours dedicated to growth. Let these victories fuel your momentum. Wealth does not come from sporadic brilliance. It is the harvest of daily diligence. When you embrace consistency as your goal, you build resilience. You learn to ride the waves of doubt, fear, and distraction, knowing that each day you stick to your plan, you move closer to your dreams. And while others drift aimlessly, waiting for the right time, you'll be quietly, steadily building your future. So don't wait for perfect conditions. Start where you are, with what you have. Show up each day, put in the work, and keep moving forward. The wealth you seek is not in a single perfect moment, but in the faithful accumulation of many consistent ones. That is the true secret to lasting financial success. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your financial journey and your mindset toward wealth. It's often said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a fundamental truth that can either lift you up or drag you down. If your closest companions are filled with negativity, excuses, or limiting beliefs, it's hard to expect your mindset to rise above those influences. Conversely, if you choose to be around thinkers, doers, and learners, your thoughts and habits will naturally elevate. Think about it like this. Your circle acts as your weather forecast for life. Are you walking into a storm of doubt and pessimism, or are you stepping into clear skies filled with encouragement and vision? When you spend your time with people who drain your energy with complaints, fear, and small thinking, you find yourself unconsciously absorbing those attitudes. On the other hand, when you align yourself with those who are growing, pushing boundaries, and thinking about how to create value, your mindset shifts to match theirs. In my own experience, I noticed early on that my financial growth accelerated when I intentionally sought out mentors, successful peers, and books that expanded my thinking. I remember sitting in a small room with a handful of like-minded individuals who challenged my ideas and inspired me to dream bigger. That environment shaped my habits, my goals, and my belief in what was possible. When I tried to go it alone, I often found myself trapped in old patterns and poor thinking. It's important to audit your environment like you would your bank account. Just as you wouldn't leave your money with a reckless spender, you shouldn't leave your mind in the company of those who pull you down. Ask yourself, does this person inspire me? Do they challenge me to be better? Are they helping me grow financially and personally? If the answer is no, it's time to reconsider the company you keep. Surrounding yourself with thinkers means seeking out people who are solutions-oriented, disciplined, and committed to their own growth. It means being part of conversations that spark ideas rather than complaints. It's also about the daily habits, reading books, listening to motivational talks, attending workshops that keep your mind engaged and expanding. Your financial success is not just about what you do alone, but who you become in the company of others. The energy you absorb, the beliefs you adopt, and the values you embrace are shaped by your social circle. So be intentional. Choose to spend time with those who think big, act boldly, and believe in their potential. That shift alone will move you closer to the lasting wealth you desire. Remember, your circle is your forecast. Choose wisely, because the weather inside your mind sets the climate for your financial future. Earning a high income may feel like success, but without building assets, it's like filling a bucket with holes. Wealth is not about how much you make, but how much you keep and grow. The true difference between the wealthy and the merely well-paid is the focus on acquiring assets that appreciate in value and generate income on their own. The paycheck alone, no matter how large, can only take you so far if it disappears in daily expenses. I've seen many people work tirelessly for a paycheck, only to realize they have little to show for it when the paychecks stop. This is because income is temporary, but assets are permanent. They are the seeds that grow over time, multiplying without constant effort. Real estate, stocks, index funds, and digital equity are examples of assets that increase your net worth and cash flow simultaneously. The lesson I learned early on was to think beyond the immediate paycheck. I began to ask myself, how can I make my money work for me while I sleep? This shift in mindset changed everything. Instead of trading hours for dollars, I started directing my earnings into investments that would build wealth steadily and securely. The beauty of assets is that they don't rely on your physical presence or time. They create passive income streams that feed your financial future. Building assets also means patience and discipline. It's easy to get caught up in lifestyle, inflation, buying new cars, bigger houses, or luxury items, and forget that these are liabilities, not assets. I learned that the wealthy delay gratification. They invest in things that grow in value, not things that lose it. It's about prioritizing long-term gains over short-term pleasures. Your financial plan must include converting your income into assets that appreciate and generate passive income. The strategy is simple but powerful. Save consistently, invest wisely, and avoid spending on liabilities disguised as status symbols. Wealth grows when you focus on the foundation, not just the surface. Remember, a high income is a starting point, not the destination. True wealth is built by acquiring assets that multiply your money, provide security, and give you freedom. This is the secret that separates lasting wealth from temporary riches. Weekends have a way of sneaking up on us as moments to escape the demands of the week of time, to crash, to check out, to forget about responsibilities for a little while. But here's the truth that many overlook. If you spend your weekends just trying to catch up on rest without purpose, you're missing out on a powerful opportunity to prepare for what's next. You see, the wealthy understand that the weekend isn't just a break from the grind, it's a strategic pause, a chance to reset, reflect, and realign your goals with your actions. In my own journey, I learned that the weekends were not just for leisure, but for preparation. Instead of allowing myself to slip into escapism, I used those quiet hours to review my progress, revisit my financial plans, and invest time in learning new skills or ideas. It was during these moments that I planted the seeds of growth that would flourish during the busy weekdays. When Monday came, I was ready, focused, and energized, not panicked or scrambling to catch up. Reflection is a powerful tool. When you step back from the daily hustle, you gain clarity about where you stand and where you want to go. What worked this week? What didn't? What could be improved? This kind of intentional thinking helps you make better decisions, avoiding the trap of reacting out of stress or desperation. Building wealth is not about frantic bursts of activity, but steady, purposeful progress. The weekend is your chance to recalibrate so that your workdays are productive and aligned with your bigger vision. I've noticed that people who spend their weekends in chaos or constant activity often enter the new week feeling drained and overwhelmed. Their efforts feel scattered because they never took the time to organize their thoughts and plan. Wealthy people treat weekends as a sanctuary for mental and emotional resetting. They build their peace so that their hustle is not born of panic, but from clarity and confidence. This doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy rest or recreation. It means balancing rest with preparation. Recharge your body and mind, yes, but also take a moment to connect with your goals. Use the quiet to strengthen your commitment to your financial vision and personal growth. The weekend is your laboratory to experiment with ideas, develop new habits, and build momentum that lasts all week. So, don't let weekends become a place where you just escape the grind. Let them be the foundation where you reset your focus, renew your energy, and prepare strategically. When you build in peace, you won't have to hustle and panic. You'll move forward with purpose, and that steady progress is what lasting wealth is built on. When we talk about wealth, most people immediately think about their lifestyle, what new things they can buy, where they can travel, the comforts they can enjoy right now. And while enjoying the fruits of your labor is important, it's a short-sighted view if that's all there is to your thinking. Real wealth goes beyond the here and now. It's about what you build that lasts well beyond your lifetime. The difference between poor thinking and wealthy thinking is precisely this. Poor thinkers are trapped in the cycle of monthly expenses, living paycheck to paycheck, focused on immediate gratification. Wealthy thinkers think in terms of legacy, what kind of impact they will leave for their children, their grandchildren, and the community. I learned early on that if you only think in terms of lifestyle, your wealth is fragile. It's easily spent, quickly consumed, and gone before you know it. But when you start to think in terms of legacy, everything changes. You begin to make decisions not just based on what feels good today, but what will endure through generations. This is the mindset that drives saving, investing, and building assets that don't just serve you, but serve your family and beyond. Legacy thinking encourages you to build wealth with purpose and responsibility. It means creating a financial foundation so strong that it supports not just your needs, but those who come after you. It's why wealthy people prioritize estate planning, set up trusts, invest in education funds, and contribute to causes bigger than themselves. They see wealth as a vehicle for freedom, opportunity, and influence that can ripple through time. I remember a mentor who told me, if you want to build a fortune, build a foundation first. That foundation is your legacy, financial, moral, and intellectual. It's not enough to accumulate money if it disappears when you're gone. You want your wealth to grow roots so deep that it stands firm for decades. This kind of thinking requires discipline, patience, and vision, but it pays dividends in peace of mind and lasting impact. Shifting your mindset from lifestyle to legacy also means thinking long-term in your financial decisions. Instead of spending on fleeting pleasures, you invest in assets and ventures that appreciate over time. Instead of living paycheck to paycheck, you create systems of passive income that continue to flow for years. Instead of accumulating debts and liabilities, you focus on building wealth that your heirs can inherit. Legacy is about more than money. It's about values, wisdom, and vision passed down. It's the story you leave behind. When you start thinking in these terms, every dollar you save, every investment you make becomes a brick in the house you're building for future generations. So I urge you to stop thinking small. Stop focusing solely on your next paycheck or your next vacation. Begin to think about the legacy you want to create. Think multi-generational. Build wealth that lasts. Because true success is measured not by what you spend, but by what you leave behind. As we come to the close of this conversation, I want you to take a moment and reflect on what has been shared today. The journey from struggling with poor thinking to embracing a millionaire's mindset is not something that happens overnight. It is a daily commitment, a series of small choices made consistently that create the foundation for lasting wealth. It's not about chasing quick fixes or shortcuts. It's about training your mind, disciplining your habits, and living with purpose and clarity. Remember, wealth is not just a number in your bank account. It is the result of a mindset shaped by values, vision, and action. I've often said that success is something you attract by the person you become, not just the things you want. Your thoughts become your habits become your actions, and your actions become your destiny. So if you want to change your financial story, start by changing your thinking. Commit to clarity. Commit to discipline. Commit to learning every day. Make it a habit to measure, to plan, and to invest in yourself and your future. Wealth is a process, not an event. Now is the time to take action. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it may never come. Begin today with a clear financial vision. Track your money, control your emotions, pay yourself first, and build multiple streams of income. Surround yourself with mentors and people who inspire growth. Build wealth rituals that anchor your daily routine. These aren't just good ideas. They are proven strategies used by those who have walked the path before you. I challenge you to rise above the mindset that keeps so many trapped in struggle. Shift your thinking, change your income, and commit to building a legacy that lasts. The road ahead may not always be easy, but with persistence and purpose, you will move closer to the freedom and wealth you desire. Remember, the secret isn't in the money, it's in the mind. So start today, train your brain, take control of your future. Your journey to lasting wealth begins now.